Chapter 61:16. After finally staying up until 2:30, Elaine changed her clothes and walked out of the elevator after catching up on her sleep. When she saw Jacob still sitting on the sofa, she immediately asked, "Jacob, why haven't you changed clothes? You have to go out to pick up your daughter." Jacob came to his senses and said dejectedly, "Oh, why did you pack up so neatly going to pick up your daughter, Dot?" Elaine cursed and said, "What have you done these 2 days? What's going on? It's like your mother is dead. Are you doing something useless outside?" Jacob immediately retorted, "What nonsense are you talking about? I didn't do anything that is useless." Elaine muttered, "I don't think you have the courage." After that, she looked at the time and urged, "Okay, let's go quickly, we will be delayed in picking up Claire." Jacob stood up, took the car key, and went out with Elaine. Arriving at the Cullinan, Elaine subconsciously got into the passenger seat. After Jacob got in the car, he opened the navigation and chose the fastest route to the airport. The car drove out of the community and went all the way to the airport expressway. Since the rush hour had not yet reached, the road conditions were relatively smooth. Elaine in the passenger seat was in a particularly good mood. Claire was not at home. She usually had no one to talk to. Charlie leaves early and comes home late. As for Jacob, it makes no difference whether she has him or not. Jacob was preoccupied, and his mind was filled with the fact that Mai Ching was about to get married. And he was in a daze. At that moment, a call suddenly came in on his mobile phone. Since the mobile phone was connected to the car's Bluetooth, he could see on the dashboard that the caller was Mr. Wu from the Painting and Calligraphy Association. He drank too much last night, and the further things go, the less he remembers. He was a little confused when he came back last night, so he completely forgot about Mr. Wu bringing Mai Ching's wedding invitation to him. So without thinking much, he directly pressed the answer button on the steering wheel. On the other end of the phone, Mr. Wu's flattering voice came. "Vice President, it's me, Wu. Why didn't you come to the meeting today? Did you drink too much last night?" Jacob hummed listlessly and said, "I drank a lot last night. And I still have a headache." "What's wrong? Is something going on at the meeting?" "It's okay," Mr. Wu said quickly. "I'm just worried that you'll feel uncomfortable after drinking too much. So I'm calling you to ask. If you have anything that makes it difficult for you to drive today and you need me to drive for you, please feel free to say a word." With that, Mr. Wu didn't wait for Jacob to speak and quickly said, "By the way, Vice President, my wife has learned some Chinese medicine at home. And she has a formula for sobering up and a formula for nourishing the liver. Just like yours. People who drink frequently need to take good care of their livers. If you don't mind it, I'll ask my wife to make the decoction at home and deliver it to you later." Although Mr. Wu did not attend yesterday's dinner, but while driving President Pei and Jacob home, he listened to the two drunken men chatting all the way. The two drank too much and had no one to talk to. So they called each other brothers and confided in each other all the way. Mr. Wu learned from the conversation between the two that President Pei was seeking a promotion, and that Executive Vice President Jacob was the best candidate for the next president. With President Pei's full support, the chance of being elected was naturally very high. Moreover, Mr. Wu sent Jacob home yesterday and knew that Jacob actually lived in the top-notch Thompson first-class villa, which gave him a deeper understanding of Jacob's financial resources. The Painting and Calligraphy Association is a hobby association. When selecting a president, qualifications and professional knowledge are not important. Social circle and asset strength are important criteria. After all, the association's funds are usually tight. Letting a wealthy person become the president will certainly alleviate the gap in the association's funds to a certain extent. From this point of view, it was only a matter of time before Jacob became the next president. So Mr. Wu wanted to take the opportunity to curry favor with Jacob. After Jacob came to power, he would have the opportunity to become his confidant. Jacob was not a fool, and he could naturally hear the knack 3D and undisguised flattery in Wu's words. Naturally, he would not refuse such a young brother who came to his door. In order to enjoy the feeling of being complimented and fawned over, he said unceremoniously, "Mr. Wu, you are considerate. I am preparing to go out to pick you up, my daughter. The whole family will have dinner out tonight. How about this? How about you bring the prepared medicine to my house after 10 o'clock in the evening?" Jacob has deeply understood President Pei's way of controlling people. Deliberately gave Mr. Wu a chance to serve, and deliberately delayed the time very late, in order to test Mr. Wu's loyalty. Mr. Wu, who was on the other end of the phone, heard this and said happily, "Okay, I get it, Vice President, so you go ahead and I will call you at Thompson after 10 o'clock in the evening." Elaine listened on the side. She was so shocked and angry that her eyes almost rolled to the sky. And she thought to herself, "DMN it, this Jacob has really made rapid progress in the Calligraphy and Painting Association. And he even has a dog licking. What if he really gets a promotion? As a boss, he's not allowed to look at me with his heels?" Jacob, who was being complimented repeatedly by Mr. Wu, caught a glimpse of the shock on Elaine's expression and deliberately put on airs. He hummed and said, "Well, okay. I'll hang up first." Mr. Wu said respectfully, "Okay, President, hang up first." Jacob was about to hang up when Mr. Wu suddenly remembered something and blurted out quickly, "By the way, Vice President, there is one more thing." Jacob said casually, "Tell me." Mr. Wu hurriedly said, "You drank too much when I sent you off last night. I don't know if you still remember that Professor Han asked me to give you the invitation. It is in the armrest box for you, don't forget it." When Mr. Wu mentioned Professor Han's invitation, Jacob only felt his head buzzing, and then it suddenly exploded. He had a guilty conscience and said to Wu on the phone, Okay, I know that. If you have nothing else to do, hang up first." After that, he quickly pressed the hang-up button. Elaine on the side asked curiously, "Professor Han, who's this Professor Han?"